Okay, chapter 6. Right, listen! Lunch over, they'd crammed themselves into the lounge with all their baggage, squeezing into chairs and settees, perching on the edges of tables, sitting on bags and cases on the floor, while the three teachers sorted out room allocations and other matters with the Wilkinsons in the hallway. They had taken in the view from the bay window, looked at the prints around the walls, and were starting to get restless when Mr. Hepworth stuck his head in through the doorway. "I am waiting, Andrew Roberts." The noise faded as Andrew Roberts stopped, using the top of his suitcase as a drum, and everyone looked towards the teacher. "There are bedrooms on 4 floors in this hotel, and 2 rooms to a floor. I'm going to give you your room numbers now and tell you which floor your room is on. As soon as you know your floor and number, I want you to pick up your luggage and walk quietly up to your room. What do I want you to do, Gemma Carlyle?" "Sir, go to our room, sir." "And how do I want you to go?" "Walking quietly, sir." "Right." Mr. Hepworth glared about the crowded room from under dark, bushy eyebrows. "Walking quietly. Not charging up the stairs like crazed rhinoceroses, swinging your case, smashing vases, and screaming at the top of your voice. And when you find your room, go in and wait. Don't touch anything, and don't start fighting about whose bed is which, or who's going to have this wardrobe, or that drawer. The teacher responsible for your floor will come and sort out all that as soon as possible." He put on his spectacles and began reading from a list. "Joanne O'Connor, Maureen O'Connor, Felicity Morgan and Marie Nero. Top floor, room 10. "Oh, sir." "Moaning already, Felicity?" "Me and Lisa wanted to be together, sir." "Well, you're not, are you? We'd be here all day if we started trying to put everyone with their best friends. Off you go." He scanned his list again. "Vicky Holmes, Samantha Story and Lisa Watmore. Top floor, room 11. Fliss carried her case up the stairs. There were brown photographs in frames all the way up. Ships and boats with old sails. Old-time fisherfolk in bulky clothes. A wave breaking over a jetty. Room 10 contained a pair of bunk beds and a double bed. There were 2 wardrobes, a chest of drawers and a dressing table. The carpet was green and thin. A small wash basin stood in one corner. A brown photograph on the wall showed 2 children playing with a toy boat in a rock pool. Maureen went to the window. "Hey, we're ever so high. You can see the sea from here." Joanne and Marie went to look. Fliss put her case down and joined them. Beyond the road, an expanse of close-mown grass, bisected by a footpath, so cut through, and bisected by a footpath, stretching almost to the cliff top. There were wooden seats at intervals along the footpath. Away to the left was something which might have been a crazy golf course, while to the right stood a shelter with benches and large windows and a telephone kiosk. In the shelter, an old woman sat. She was dressed in black and seemed to be looking straight at them. Beyond all this, glinting blue-grey under the sun, lay the sea. "Isn't it lovely?" breathed Marie. Maureen's eyes followed a gull that swooped and soared along the line of the cliff. Joanne peered towards the horizon and thought she could make out the long, low shape of a ship, a tanker perhaps. Fliss gazed out to sea too, but she wasn't looking for a ship. She was thinking, Marie's right. It is lovely, but not nearly as beautiful as at night when the moon makes a silver path across the water. Behind them, someone knocked loudly on the door and flung it open. "Hey, Fliss!" It was Lisa. "We're right next door. Come and see our room." Fliss was starting towards the door when Miss Marriott's voice sounded on the landing. "What are you doing there, Lisa Watmore? Didn't you hear Mr. Hepworth say you were to wait in your room?" "Yes, miss." There was a scampering noise. Lisa's face disappeared. Fliss waited a moment, then looked out. There was nobody on the landing. The door of number 11 was half open, and she heard Mrs. Marriott asking Lisa if she didn't think she'd caused enough trouble for one day. There were 2 other doors. One had 12 on it, and Fliss guessed that was the bathroom. The other had no number, but she knew what number it would have if it had. She was gazing at it, wondering what sort of room it concealed when Mrs. Marriott came out of number 11. "Why are you standing there, Felicity Morgan?" she inquired. "Please, miss, I was just wondering what sort of room that is." She pointed to the numberless door. The teacher glanced at it. "Linen cupboard, I should think." "It's big for a cupboard, miss." The teacher nodded. "Hotels need big cupboards, Felicity, or those sheets, or it could be a broom cupboard. Anyway, let's get your room organised." Felicity got to the bottom bunk. She was glad. She hadn't fancied sharing a double bed. Mrs. Marriott put Joanne and Maureen in that. They were twins, so that was all right. Marie had the top bunk. They had half an hour to unpack, put their things away and tidy up. Then everyone was going down to the seafront for a look round. Excited, anxious to be off, Fliss's 3 companions worked quickly. They chattered and giggled, but Fliss was silent. She was wondering when it was that she'd seen the sea under the moon, and noticing how broom rhymes with room and also with doom. So more little nuggets of information in there. So the rooms on the top floor, you've got the girls in room 10 and 11. You've got number 12, which Fliss has guessed is the bathroom. And then we've also got this unnumbered room, which of course, if it had a number, would be room 13, of course. We don't know what's in there, but it's suggested that perhaps it was a broom cupboard or something like that, but I can't see that Fliss is particularly convinced by that. And then that interesting bit at the end, Fliss was wondering when it was that she'd seen the sea under the moon, because when she went out and looked out to sea, she followed Maureen over to the window and she looked out. She thought, oh yeah, it's nice out there, but it's not nearly as beautiful at night when the moon makes a silver path across the water. But how would she know that? How would she know what the view looked like at night? Because they've only just arrived and it's daytime. So lots of questions, lots of intriguing pieces of information, which as a reader, certainly for me, puts me on edge, makes me ask questions, and makes me wonder what's going to happen next. So head over now, back onto Purple Mash, find the questions for chapters 5 and 6, and see how you get on with those. Okay, I look forward to seeing your answers.